You know, the internet's a strange place. It's a huge fad all across YouTube to make fun of movies, satirically ripping apart filmmakers, actors, or movies in general. But for some reason, when we do the exact same thing to, say, a YouTuber, it's considered drama, shit-stirring, causing trouble. What's the difference? They're both producing content that we think is unsatisfactory and therefore rightfully critique it. Now, I can take other people's opinions. My best friend of 21 years loves the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Lord of the Rings. I've got many friends who hate movies that I love or love movies that I hate. My problem arises when someone is hypocritical with their statements, when someone critiques a film for an issue that other movies that they enjoy are guilty of, or they miss vital plot points in a movie or fail to miss the entire purpose of it. That's where I step in. This is a response to the Blockbuster Buster. It's no secret that I don't particularly like this dude. I can get over his absolutely terrible acting. Okay, I can't. For someone who rips on acting so much, it's the ultimate irony. Hey, Erod! Here's your entire acting ability.
But I destroyed you!
And I know you might think it's kinda harsh considering this is a 6-year-old review, but guess what? He's not improved. At least with guys like the irate gamer with cheesy and lousy acting, he seems self-aware. Nimrod here puts on the jacket and shades and has this super badass intro and parades around like the Terminator despite having less acting talent than a dead fish that was rejected as an extra in Finding Dory because it chose to overdose instead of admitting to the shame. This is a guy who reviewed Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. This is a guy who claims he's a massive DC comic book fan since he was about 7 or 8. This is a guy who ripped on Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of Lex Luthor, claiming it wasn't to the comic and insulted the entire character. Don't get me wrong, I like Batman v Superman and I couldn't stand Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but it had nothing to do with the comics, I just found him annoying. However, this was actually adapted from the goddamn comic books. It was from Superman Birthright. It was a specific version of Lex Luthor, and any DC comic book fan should have known this. In addition, he clearly rips off material from the Nostalgia Critic and the Angry Video Game Nerd. He seems to just jump on the bandwagon of other people's opinions without anything else really backing it up. This sucks. Don't know why, but everyone else says it sucks, so it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. And again, for someone who was such a big fan at such a young age, he says something isn't accurate to the source material, even though it was right there in the comic books. He says the movie has too much substance, which is ultimately like saying a film has too much good acting or the plot is too enticing, and his comedy is about as funny as 9/11.
So, some guy made some movie about a killer house for kids!
But today, we're looking at his god-awful review of Batman Forever. Now, I can understand people's criticisms about Batman Forever. I personally love the film, but I can see why people don't like it. Tommy Lee Jones is awful. I agree. It has stupid and silly moments. I agree. It's very camp and cheesy. I agree. And the ending is quite anticlimactic. I agree. It has a lot of problems, and when people criticize the movie, I can see why. I just personally like it. I like these characters, the acting performances other than Jones was great, the action's brilliant for the most part, it has genuinely creepy moments when it needs to be, the humor works, the sets look amazing and just like the comic books, and the chemistry between all of the characters work really well. There's quite a few subplots, but I feel like it works. Except Nicole Kidman, who was entirely pointless. But Nimrod just clearly wanted to shit on Batman Forever because everybody shits on Batman Forever. I, being a fan of the movie, was able to criticize it, but everything I said, he doesn't point out any of that stuff.
Let's check blockbusterbuster.angelfire.com.
And I hate it already. Badass can't even afford his own website domain name. Or a tripod, apparently. I think Batman Forever is actually quite a good film. It's highly underrated and... Oh shit. No, just kind of hold it steady. I should invest in a tripod. Jim Carrey's great. Tommy Lee Jones needs a bit of work.
Dear Erod, show is awesome, blah blah blah.
Oh, Erod, your mother really needs to stop emailing you.
Will you please review Batman Forever? A fan request.
I have fans.
Am I truly worthy of taking on this challenge? I mean, I can't let the fans down, but could I truly oblige to such a request?
Bear in mind, the acting of this guy, who openly criticizes acting for a living, has 13,500 subscribers.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
What the heck did I do with Batman Forever? Oh. Ha!
Jews being gassed during World War II was funnier than this. Oh, by the way, this joke would have been a lot more effective if the DVD was actually in the case. And don't get me wrong, it's not because it's a film I enjoy. The nostalgia critic and cinematic excrement have ripped apart many movies I love and they were hilarious. Although I may reply to the critic's Jack review one day as that was completely inaccurate, but my god, this is just painful. And the fact that a grown adult actually took the time to sit down and write this makes me completely lose faith in humanity altogether.
In a world of uncertainty, where movie theaters are plagued by remakes and sequels, in a world where big-budget movies can still suck.
But I'll only rip them apart when the mass public say they suck because I have no opinion of my own. What is your intro about Star Wars? I mean, I'm guessing you're not a fan, but you could have reshot that with the Batman Forever DVD. Would have taken 2 minutes. Just kind of doesn't make sense to have an intro of you attacking Star Wars when you're reviewing Batman Forever. 13,500 subscribers.
How famous is Batman? Let's just say that during the opening sequence of his animated series, the words Batman never appear on screen. That's how famous he is. People just see his image and that's all they need to know.
But you can do that with Superman, or the Hulk, or Thor, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Wolverine. You can do it with the Grinch. I love Batman, but it's not specific for him.
General audiences were introduced to the Dark Knight.
And what was the point in that? It's actually a frequent occurrence in his videos. I don't get it. What's the point of you spinning around dramatically? To show off your editing skills? Fine. It's not even like it's fancy editing. It's just cutting. It's just cutting, Erod. What's the point of it? And since it's a review and you're acknowledging the camera, it fucks up continuity. Because when you spin around, there's no camera behind you. What's the purpose of it? I don't get it. Is it meant to make you look even more like a badass? You're such a badass, Erod. Wouldn't want to mess with you.
Now, a lot of people hate this show for its silliness and camp humor, but I think it's a decent introduction to the Batman universe.
You just said that Batman is such an iconic character, dark and mysterious. And that was the best way to introduce him?
It wasn't until 1989 that we got to meet the real Batman, courtesy of Tim Burton. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Burton Batman films because I find a lot of the scenes to be creepy and off-putting.
Wait. You're a DC fanboy who grew up with the comics. It was your first love. Your own words.
DC Comics was my first love.
But you didn't like Tim Burton's Batman because he was creepy and off-putting. Which the character's supposed to be? What did you want him to do? Parade around like Adam West? Tra-la-la-la-la, I am Batman!
Unfortunately, Burton's second Batman film, Batman Returns, didn't do so well, so Warner Brothers opted for a reboot.
It's a sequel. You're called Blockbuster Buster, but you don't know the difference between a sequel and a reboot. It was a sequel. They even acknowledged the previous 2 films!
You like strong women. I've done my homework. Or do I need skin-tight vinyl and a whip?
You can't understand. Your family wasn't killed by a maniac.
Yes, they were.
Try listening, Erod. Try listening.
So they gave the franchise to Joel fucking Schumacher, who not only made 2 of the worst Batman films to date, but he made the Antichrist of comic book movies.
You know, your point about Joel Schumacher being so evil would have been a lot more impactful if he hadn't made some of the greatest movies of all time. But no, remember, a lot of people shit on Joel Schumacher because you have to follow the sheep and you forget about all the good ones he made. Shh. Just gotta sleep, Erod. Shh.
That's the Batmobile?
Yes. And it's very similar to the Batmobile in the previous 2 films. You don't bitch about those. Oh, but I forgot, the mass public hate this movie, so you only bitch about it here?
The Batmobile is supposed to be built for stealth and speed.
Wait, so why are you showing footage from the Christopher Nolan Batman films? Don't get me wrong, I love the Nolan movies. My point is, you're talking about the Batmobile being stealthy, bitching about Batman Forever, but then you opt to show a fucking tank terrorizing Gotham. Pearl Harbor was more stealthy.
It's not just the Batmobile. The streets, the buildings, even the gangbangers are covered in Technicolor bark.
Because it looks like a comic book. And a cartoon show. Which you claim to be a big fan of both. But oh no, it's Batman Forever, so it's shit.
Can I persuade you to take a sandwich with you, sir?
I'll get drive-through.
How dare you be funnier than me? And you don't even explain why this is a bad joke. You just use your shit Batarang joke, which was about as funny as underage rape, and then you carry on. Am I the only one who actually found that joke funny? Oh, of course you don't like this line, because it's silly, isn't it? It's out of character, isn't it? It's cheesy, isn't it? But when he does it in The Dark Knight, it's perfectly fine and it's hilarious, right?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
If any other film did this, it would be called comedy gold, but here it's shit because it's Batman Forever. But furthermore, it fits the tone for the rest of the movie anyway. The film tells you right away from the very first scene, yeah, this is the angle we're going with. We're being this cheesy and goofy. If you didn't like it, leave now. I'm not trying to be something I'm not. It lets you know immediately.
Now, Two-Face plans to kill Batman by trapping him in a safe, lifting the safe over the city with a helicopter, and then filling the safe with acid. This is fucking stupid!
Why do you always have to do a dramatic close-up every time you scream with your complete lack of charisma?
Who would try to kill anybody in such an impractical manner?
And I agree. The opening is stupid and illogical, but my problem is, how come you don't bitch about Batman Returns? You know, the film that had the Penguin in a car simulator. The film that had penguins waddle around Gotham with dynamite strapped to them. Oh no, that was good because it wasn't Batman Forever.
Edward Nigma?
Edward Nigma?
Oh yeah, everyone in their right brain knows that Edward Nigma is the Riddler, but let me get my folder out just to show that I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd, even though I consistently miss out details in the comic books, but I'm a nerd!
Jim Carrey's playing the Riddler?
Also, I love how you don't even explain why Jim Carrey was poorly cast. It just sucks because it's Jim Carrey. No explanation, but then again, this is the guy who literally said anybody who likes Megan Fox, anyone who goes to see a movie just starring Megan Fox, are lonely, horny, teenagers. Like, he said this, okay? So it can't possibly... Jennifer's Body, the decent performance? No, it sucks because it's Megan Fox. Jim Carrey's the Riddler, you know? No, it sucks because it's Jim Carrey. You probably hate Daredevil because of Ben Affleck. Do you want to explain why Ben Affleck was bad? No, it's Ben Affleck. He can't possibly do a good performance, Good Will Hunting. But the fact that, oh no, he fucking sucks in everything. Batman v Superman, he sucks because it's Ben Affleck. You know, he can't possibly do anything good. Neither can Megan Fox. Neither can Jim Carrey. You're a fucking moron.
Now, I don't know about you, but if I was responsible for a company that was supposed to produce cutting-edge technology, and one of my employees presented me with a fucking helmet that had a blender and egg beaters glued to it, I'd fire his ass.
And if I hosted a website filled with incredibly talented people who professionally critique movies and actually know what they're talking about, and I saw this incredible waste of screen time with worse acting than The Room, I'd fire his ass. Okay, your point about Nigma being crazy and should be fired is valid, so I'll give you that one.
Wait, what?
Now your background's randomly changed. I guess even your location wanted to get away from you.
Is it true that you want to transfer to Gotham?
Yes, as soon as possible.
May I ask why?
Because I want to bone Batman.
You're fired.
Okay, that was actually funny, but you ruined it with your shit delivery. Even when you stumble across a funny joke, probably by accident, you ruin it with your lack of acting ability. Even your lack of voice acting ability.
The Flying Graysons? That's Robin's family.
My acting sucks.
You know what I can't get over, though? Why is he dressed like a fucking ringmaster?
We don't need a fucking close-up. Also, he's a fucking psychopath. He's fucking insane, so maybe that's why he doesn't have much fashion sense. Don't worry, I'll let the next psychopath out of an asylum know that he should be wearing a suit and tie with well-styled hair to meet your approval. You want to date Two-Face or something and you prefer the formal look?
Hey fellas, you know what would be awesome? If during that circus heist, I wore a ringmaster's costume.
And you took your only good joke, brought it back and completely ruined it. Good job, Nimrod. Good job.
He adopted him? Why? Robin's like 25 in this movie. He's a grown-ass man. This is just weird and creepy and...
Because he's a grown man who no longer has a family or a place to stay? Nice to know that when someone's just had everything in their life snatched away from them, their entire family and everything that they've got going for them in life completely destroyed, taken away, you wouldn't give them a place to stay because of their age. What a stand-up guy.
So because they need some filler, Two-Face tries to kill Batman yet again, and Batman gets away like this.
And that flashy car? I heard it can drive up walls.
No explanation as to why the Batmobile getaway was stupid, just used a clip that didn't really explain anything. Just pointless, really. And you bitch about the movie having filler.
Now there are two problems with this plan. Number one, it's fucking stupid!
It's still not funny!
Say what you want about Batman and Robin, at least in that movie the villains had good take over the world plans.
No, they didn't. One wanted to cover the world with greenery, the other one wanted to cover the world with ice. Two completely incompatible motives.
And number two, this nefarious scheme has a very simple solution.
Turn off your television right now!
What? Are you joking? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you trolling? Are you trolling? Like, yeah, just turn the TV off. It's not like the movie pointed out that they're brainwashed and couldn't move. No, just turn the TV off. Just turn the TV. It's not hard. Just turn the TV off. 13,500 subscribers.
What's a good sidekick name?
How about Dick Grayson, college students?
So out of fear...
What was that about joke? What? Why, Rod? No, don't bother explaining it. Just add a shitty sound effect and claim you're critiquing the movie. It's fine. People will watch you anyway.
You know what would be really ironic? The bad guys found out his secret identity and attacked his house on that very night.
No, it's ironic because you're playing a board game and I'm fucking bored.
Batman enlists the help of Robin, who is now wearing a costume complete with bat nipples and a codpiece that would make David Bowie jealous.
Oh, Doug Walker, I want to blow you so much. Oh, Doug, I'll have your dick. Oh, Doug, just come in my mouth right now.
A game of Battleship.
How dare you be funnier than me again? That scene was hilarious to me, but I can see why others might disagree. But again, you don't explain. You just throw another batarang because you think it's funny. Villains have done ridiculous shit before. But that's not an issue, is it? No, it's not an issue when other films do it, just this, because it's Batman Forever. So Batman Forever did something that other films did, and it's only shit because it's Batman Forever and shit.
Nah, he just throws a batarang at a big green lamp, which brings the whole face down like a deck of cards.
Actually, there was a lot more to it than that, but you don't like explaining stuff, do you?
Death, stupid joke, run towards the camera in slow motion, D.
Sounds like you're writing one of your own episodes. The audience, death, random ugly close-up, stupid joke.
This movie's a big pile of guano. We know that Schumacher at least glanced at the comic book and the cartoon because he continuously rips them both off.
Oh, Schumacher looked at the comic books. Maybe you should try.
So if he knew the source material, we can only conclude that he made this movie shitty on purpose.
So you made this review shitty on purpose? Yeah, it's not like anyone else could have possibly liked Batman Forever. I actually know a few people who like the movie. It's not that rare. People are allowed to like Batman Forever, Erod, but where to feed your ego?
Not to mention the villains are third-rate knockoffs of Cesar Romero's Joker, and nobody rips off Romero.
Except Jack Nicholson. Don't get me wrong, I love Jack Nicholson's Joker, but he was just Cesar Romero, and yet everyone loves the performance, and you've not got gripes with that. Why? Because it's Batman Forever! What a shitty-ass review. You made one funny joke, which was then destroyed, you made one valid point, you just panned your face to the camera for no reason, had filler after insulting the film for the same thing, didn't explain anything, the review is 11 minutes long, and you didn't say anything. I can understand the criticism for Batman Forever, but I personally love the film. This is Cinematic Venom saying you can hate or like any movie you want. Just don't skew facts and talk utter bollocks. New catchphrase? I don't know, I'm still working on it.